The Boston Celtics' best player is point guard Isaiah Thomas, but I think they're going to take another point guard tonight in the NBA draft. I'll tell you why coming up. You're watching James Carter TV.
Yeah. Looking like a trouble when I walked in the building. That mean I got something expensive. Know my friends, they killing. All these hoes I'm killing.
Hello and welcome. This is James Carter TV here to release my final official 4th 2016 NBA mock draft. The NBA draft is tonight. I'm so excited for that. I'm a Laker fan. I already know who we're taking, and I'm still excited for that, as I'm sure you are, and that's why you are here. You want to see my final projections for the first round of the 2016 NBA draft. So last time we had a little fun with some trades. This time, there are no trades, because if I'm trying to get as accurate as possible, predicting a trade is very unlikely in terms of you being correct. So screw that. I'm going to keep the order. There will be moves, and I'll get those wrong, but I'd rather just get them wrong that way than trying to foresee the future like I'm That's So Raven or something. So with that said, the full mock draft is in the description box below. Also in the description box below is my final big board. As I went through in the last video, I believe, or the video before that, I uploaded my big board, but I only had 26 players on it, and I had some players that I wanted to get through. I didn't get through all of them. I only got through 6 more, so 32 players on my final big board. The 2 biggest ones that I didn't get through, Ante Zizic and Ivica Zubac, mainly because I couldn't get enough film on them in time, because I really like to not just watch like Draft Express or anything. I like to watch highlights. I like to watch lowlights, and I couldn't really get enough film on them to really log down on a good prediction for them. But if I had to sum them up, I think Ivica Zubac could be a low-end starter in the league, while Ante Zizic could just be a role player. So that's about where I'm feeling, but I didn't settle on official grades for them. Also could have got through probably like Zhu Qi, or actually, excuse me, Zhao Qi. In my Chinese pronunciations suck. Maybe some other players like Wayne Selden or something like that, but I think 32 is pretty much enough. So full big board in the description box below. And also, I just throw down this. I'll throw down my last year's big board, and you can see the grades I gave last year. I think I was pretty good. You have to keep in mind we're only 1 year out from the last year's draft, and a lot of these players have to develop themselves. Like I had D'Angelo Russell as a all-star, and he will be. I'm convinced of that. You may not be, but he averaged 13 points per game last year. And if I ask you who's going to average the most points for the Lakers, you're going to tell me D'Angelo Russell, and he's going to average probably 18, 19, maybe even 20 and above. The year before that, or the year after that, 22 and above. He's going to be an all-star. I had Moutier as an all-star. I'm a little low on that, but, and I was a little low on Kristaps Porzingis, but I was pretty good when it came to, I like Devin Booker a lot. I like Justin Anderson. I didn't like some of the other guys that people like. So anyway, like Mario Hezonja, I knew he was going to be a low-end starter in the league. Anyway, the full both last year's big board and this year's big board are down below. I think they were pretty good. Tell me what you think. So with that in mind, I'm going to give you my final mock draft. Again, all this stuff can be found in the description box below, because I'm only going to talk about the highlights here. We start off Simmons and Ingram. Then number 3, Boston Celtics. I talked about this in the opening. I think they're going to take Kris Dunn, point guard out of Providence. Do I love it? I don't love it. Now, here's the thing. Kris Dunn is starting my big board. I think he's the 3rd best player in the draft. They have the number 3 pick. They take Kris Dunn, the 3rd best player in the draft. Can I hate on it too much? No. Is the fit there? No, it's not. Because your best player is a point guard in Isaiah Thomas, and now you're drafting another point guard. Can you run a 2-guard system? Sure. But literally, they are point guards. Like, Isaiah Thomas is too small to play the 2-guard in any form of capacity whatsoever. And then Kris Dunn is not a shooter really at all. Putting him at the 2-guard is I don't love it. You can do it, though. I mean, he would be very similar to Jordan Clarkson in that sense, and he'd even be a better defender than Jordan Clarkson at the 2. I wouldn't love it, though, but I think that's what they're going to do, so just get used to it. I think you're limiting, though, Kris Dunn, since he has such an ability to set guys up, to set guys up in terms of getting assists And I think you're really missing out on that, putting him at the 2, but, they can do that. That's fine. So I think that's where the Celtics are leaning. He's the third best player by far to me. You can see that on my big board, and they probably think the same. They're also considering Jaylen Brown. So I'd rather have them take Kris Dunn than Jaylen Brown, to be honest. If I was in their position, what would I do? I mean, I might take... I'm a big Hield guy. I like Buddy Hield. I have him ranked 4th on my big board. I think I take him. They want to take Kris Dunn, though. That's fine, because Dunn is a better player. I just think the fit isn't perfect. I think you're limiting Dunn's potential if you put him at the 2. We move on to the Phoenix Suns, taking Marquese Kris out of Washington. I'm not a big Marquese Kris fan. I have him ranked in the teens on my big board. He goes number 4 here. So you can bet when I come back on here for my first round grades and this happens, that they're going to get a bad grade. I think people like him. People like the upside. I don't buy into upside when it comes to power forwards. Unless if you're a point forward like Ben Simmons or LeBron James. If you're talking about, oh, look at this power forward that can dunk well, I need to see more. Because even though Blake Griffin has had plenty of success with that, he's the only one. So I need to see more than that. Marquese Kris, he nice blocking ability as well, but he's not a good rebounder. He has poor awareness, can't pass the ball very well at all. He's shooting pretty good, but I just think he's too much of a clown, to be honest, and it's a big project, and I wouldn't take it. If you really want a power forward, just take Dragan Bender. He's going to be a good teammate. He's going to be a good perimeter defender, and if you can put some muscle on him, he could be a good post defender. But I think Marquese Kris, man, I'm not a big fan of this. I'd even rather them take Jaylen Brown than Marquese Kris. I mean, I don't like to pick at all. I'd rather them take Deyonta Davis or Jakob Poeltl. I mean, I don't get it. All right, we move on. Timberwolves number 5. They take Jamal Murray. I would take Buddy Hield. But, I think Jamal Murray is going to go above Buddy Hield. People think that Murray has a lot of upside. I don't see that. He's 19. Yes, that is 3 years younger than Buddy Hield. Yes, but what is Jamal Murray really going to get better at that he can control right now? He's already a really good shooter. I mean, he's going to struggle a little bit in the NBA. Everyone does. So then he'll become the shooter he was in college. And then from there, what's he going to be? I think he's Klay Thompson max. I think Buddy Hield, though, has a little more upside in terms of him actually being able to make a lot of contested jumpers in college. He was a volume shooter in college, made a lot of contested shots. Jamal Murray, not so much. I like Hield over Murray, but I think the Timberwolves take Murray because he also offers some positional flexibility in terms of him being able to play point guard. I don't buy into that. I think he's a pretty good passer, especially in transition. I don't want him as my point guard. He's not a natural point guard, so I think that'd be a big mistake if they actually end up putting him at point guard. We move on to the New Orleans Pelicans. I had them taking Buddy Hield in the past, but I think now it's going to be Jaylen Brown. Teams are really buying into the potential that Jaylen Brown brings, and I think I might be too. I'm not going to update my big board now because I think it's too late, but I heard that he made 76 threes out of 100 in his Celtics workout. I don't know why these Celtics workout, by the way. So I don't know why, or by the way, I should say, I don't know why all of these stats and all of these results from these workouts keep leaking. I don't know if agents are getting away with this just with the Celtics and with no one else. But anyway, we know the results from Jaylen Brown's workout, and apparently he made 76 out of 100 threes. I don't believe these numbers, honestly. I saw Buddy Hield. I actually saw a video of Buddy Hield during the Lakers workout. He wasn't hitting more than 50% in the videos that I saw. So then now these guys go up to Boston and they're shooting 85, 75%. I didn't see that, but anytime I actually see these guys, they're not doing that. Now, that doesn't mean that someone's lying. I think they're telling the truth fine, but I don't get that. Anyway, I'm not a big Jaylen Brown fan. I see the potential there and whatnot. I'd rather take Buddy Hield. I think they'll take Jaylen Brown, have another wing defender and whatnot, but I would take Buddy Hield. We move on to the Denver Nuggets. Dragan Bender, Maccabi Tel Aviv, goes here to number 7 to the Denver Nuggets. I think it's an okay fit. They're talking about trading Kenneth Faried to the Minnesota Timberwolves for what? I don't know. Really, I have no clue because the Timberwolves will not trade Andrew Wiggins. They will not trade Karl-Anthony Towns. They will not trade Zach LaVine. What do you want there? Ricky Rubio, maybe, or maybe Yeah, Ricky Rubio, but I don't know who they're going to start at point guard. Why don't they take Jamal Murray and they'll start him at point guard? Okay, all right. So I guess that's what you're going to do. I don't love that idea, though, taking Ricky Rubio, Emmanuel Mudiay, Jaylen Brown. I don't love that. But anyway, you just no outside shooting there. So anyway, though, Dragan Bender goes to Denver Nuggets. They could take Buddy Hield, but I think he's too similar to Gary Harris, who really started showing up last season. So I don't think they can afford to take Gary Harris, but maybe they will. And we move on to 8th. Buddy Hield finally goes. This will be the first good pick from the Sacramento Kings in nearly a decade, as they take Buddy Hield, at number 8. I'm exaggerating, guys. Really, college time was a good pick. I mean, he's only going to be so good. Like, he's only going to probably average 14 points, and that'll be high for him on any given season. But he's going to be a really good defender. So with that in mind, though, I think this could be a really big hit. If they can finally get a damn coach in there that can gel well with DeMarcus Cousins, I think Hield and Cousins would be a damn good combo. Playoffs? Nope. But a damn good combo. All right, we move on to 9. Toronto Raptors take Deyonta Davis out of Michigan State. We all know a power forward or center is going here. The question is which one. And I think this is the one that teams are falling in love with. I like him. I like him as an average starter in the NBA. But I think Jakob, Poeltl, and Domantas Sabonis offer more. And speaking of them, I have Jakob Poeltl going number 10. And I have Domantas Sabonis going number 11. I think the Bucks would have found a starting center here and a damn good one. And I think the Magic will have found a good power forward here who will be better than Aaron Gordon, because I was never a big Aaron Gordon fan coming out of college. I like Julius Randle way more than him coming out. You can go back to 2 years ago. I'm on record saying that. Him and Noah Vonleh, I hated them. I loved Julius Randle, and now they wish that they took Julius Randle. All right, so with that said, those are the first 11 picks. From there, anything fascinating or interesting that I think happens? Oh, number 12. We now have the Atlanta Hawks, who traded for the number 12th pick. They traded away Jeff Teague. They're now picking 12th, and they're also picking 21st. I expect them to pick up maybe a pair of big men or one big man and a wingman, some sort of combination there. No point guards. A shooting guard also possible there, but yeah, just a wing player or a big man, because they have shooter. And Millsap is under contract for next season, but not the season after that. Al Horford, I think, is bye-bye. I think he's so gone, he can't even believe it. So, yeah, he himself can't even believe it. I'm serious. So with that in mind, I think you're talking about a couple players there. I'm taking Skal Labissiere at 12 and Damian Jones at 21. Chicago Bulls, either taking Wade Baldwin. The 4th Bulls roster will be horrible next year, guys. I mean, they're going to trade Jimmy Butler tomorrow or tonight. I think they're going to trade him tonight, and I don't know to whom, but I think they will, and their roster is going to be bad. It's going to be Jose Calderon, the idiot they take at 12, Robin Lopez, Jerry Grant, Doug McDermott, who's shaping up to be their highest scorer next season. Taj Gibson, who I can't believe is still in the league. He's still pretty good. I just can't believe it. With that said, though, that's enough talking for me. All right, we have anything else interesting? Well, Celtics is 16. I think this is fascinating. If all the big men are gone, and I project that they will be, and Ellenson, Labissiere, Sabonis, Poeltl, and Davis, and Bender, I question what they're going to do here, because I'm sure they would love to take one of those big men. But from there, you're questioning what they could do. They've already taken Kris Dunn. They're going to run that 2-guard system. Okay, what do? You want a small forward. Timothy Luwawu was off the board. If he's on the board, they're going to take him. Malachi Richardson would be a possibility here, even though I hate Malachi Richardson. I hate him. I think he's a bad basketball player, to be quite honest. I think other possibilities here. I think Taurean Prince goes here out of Baylor. I think they'd like his energy, his play style. I think he'd fit in well with their organization, with their team mentality and whatnot. And I have him going here to the Boston Celtics at 16. And with that said, I think that's all the fascinating stuff. Oh, I have Tyler Ulis falling out of the first round, has an hip issue. So I think that's probably going to prevent him from going into the first round. Shame, because I think he's a first round talent in this draft. But it's a shame. So real quick, let me give you some points, of the 6 guys in my big board that I moved and that I actually did stuff on. So the one that I like the most of the 6 guys, Brice Johnson. I think this guy's really, really underrated. We're talking about Marquese Kris. Why? Brice Johnson is Marquese Kris, but better. He's the same guy in terms of high energy guy that can go down the court, catch lobs, really athletic, can jump really high. But Brice Johnson can actually freaking rebound. His PER was through the roof. I mean, this guy has a lot of upside as is. He's never going to be a high volume scorer for you, like never going to average more than 15. But I think he's a way better, maybe not way better, but a better player than Marquese Kris, and I have him over Marquese Kris. So that was the one that I liked the most of the guys that I saw in the past couple days. Caris LeVert, I also like a lot, has injury issues the past 2 seasons, but if he can stay healthy, I think we're talking about a damn good role player at the next level in Caris LeVert. He won't go first round, but he should. I also look at some other players that I looked at, like Tyler Ulis. I finally settled on him. Yeah, I think he's a first rounder. I think he's a role player, but he may struggle to make the league. I mean, that's just honest. I trust him because he balled. And he balled out at Kentucky. And I think you just don't do that unless if you can play. But we'll see. You know, it's a tough projection. I probably wouldn't trust him until 25. So, especially with the injury, though, I probably wouldn't trust him until, definitely 25 at earliest. But we'll see. He's going to go second round, so just be prepared for that. Don't be surprised when that happens. The one that I hated the most, 2 guys, Yorgis Papagiannis out of Greece. Look, I get it. He's 7'2". Oh, my God, he's so tall. The guy's, I think, a little lumbering for me. Defense is pretty bad. Not a high-volume scorer at all. Not too many post moves to his game. Not a good defender at 7'2". I don't love him. And also, Diamond Stone. You throw the ball down to him in the post, it's not coming back. He's either going to shoot it and make it. Okay. He's either going to turn the ball over, does that a lot. He's either going to miss it, and that's it. It's not coming back out. If you think you're going to pass the ball to Diamond Stone and get it back, you're wrong. The only way you're going to get it back is if you get his rebound. Big issue for me. Can't pass the ball worth a damn. His turnover to assist ratio was absurd. He's not a good team basketball player. You can physically see his teammates getting pissed off because he won't pass the damn ball to them. He's going to go first round. I don't think he should. I think he's a bench warmer who will struggle to make this league, will be probably out of the league, bounce around the D League, and then be out of the league soon enough. So that's what I think about him. All right, guys. There you go. My full mock draft, big board, last year's big board. All of this stuff can be found in the description box below. And until next time, this has been James Carter TV. I'm out. Peace.